Hello and welcome back to this third and final part of our adventure into the May Lakes region of the High Sierras in Yosemite National Park. In this episode, we pack up camp and say goodbye to scenic May Lake and head northeast along the Glen Aulin Trail past the Ten Lakes Trail to the junction with the Murphy Creek Trail. Here we take a right and head south toward our final night's destination, an excellent lakeside camp at the largest of the Polydome Lakes. Now, John Muir once wrote, "The trail toward the High Sierra camp at Glen Aulin has everything you are looking for in a Yosemite trip. Dynamic, cascading waterfalls, granite cliffs and valleys, lush meadows, lively forests, and a place to commune with nature. The Glen Aulin Trail is nothing short of magic." We're not really going there. Well, just kidding. We've actually already been there in a previous edition of the journal when we hiked the entire length of the Tuolumne River from White Wolf all the way past Glen Aulin into Tuolumne Meadows. Actually, this time, we're heading toward Glen Aulin from a different direction. From our campsite along the southwest shore of May Lake, we're going to hike eastward, hike past the High Sierra camp, and head north along the trail that connects the Glen Aulin High Sierra camp with the May Lake High Sierra camp. Along the way, we're treated to jaw-dropping views ranging far across Murphy Creek Canyon and tremendous views of Polydome that towers above Murphy Creek as it cascades down toward Tenaya Lake. Polydome is a prominent granite dome rising over 1,600 feet above the northwest side of Tenaya Lake and Tioga Road in the High Sierra high country of Yosemite. The trail to the Polydome Lakes begins at the Murphy Creek trailhead on Tioga Road, across from the lake, just a short ways from the Sunrise Lakes trailhead parking area. Hiking northward from the trailhead, the path follows the creek through a thick forest for the first mile and a half. Upon leaving the trees, you'll see evidence of glacier activity as the trail leads across large spans of granite. Through this area, you'll notice large boulders left by glaciers lining the trail. Follow the cairns over the rock as you climb to the head of Murphy Canyon. Approximately 2.5 miles from the trailhead, you'll notice a small pond to the right of the trail. Before you reach the pond, look for the lightly used trail heading to the right, southeast. Now follow this trail, which roughly follows Murphy Creek toward Polydome. The large granite dome will be directly ahead of you on the trail. The trail ascends slightly along the creek to the northern shore of the largest Polydome Lake. Okay, so this is where our route differs from the average trail recommendation. First off, we're heading in the opposite direction. We're not heading up the Murphy Creek Trail, but down the Murphy Creek Trail, from the upper end to the north, at the junction of the trail to the Glen Aulin Trail. Here we'd see Polydome down below off in the distance to the left, tucked way back in the trees. The second difference was that this time of year, and especially this year, Murphy Creek was brutally bone dry. And lastly, that little used trail, well, it's not really marked. It's not marked at all. And despite warnings from 2 different sets of hikers that we ran into along the way, we still missed it. Anyway, let's pack up camp at May Lake and head over to the Polydome Lakes. Dave is awake over there. Anyway, good morning. This is Tuesday morning, and today, about 1:30 this morning, the wind picked up. It was blowing pretty good, and even though it's not that cold temperature-wise, the wind was blowing pretty good, and it makes it feel a lot colder than it actually is. So we're wearing pretty much everything we got on for the most part. And I went down and filtered some water, and along the edge of the water, the edge of the lake is whipped into a foam. So I had to find a kind of a sheltered spot to filter some water. But anyway, I already had 2 cups of coffee. I'm going to make some oatmeal here in a minute, and then I don't know, maybe I'll walk around just to get the blood flowing and warm up. Today we're going to be going to Polydome Lakes. We got to hike up about 4.5 miles. All right, well, today is Tuesday. We're working our way from May Lake, which is right behind me here. And we're going to go over to the Murphy Creek Junction, turn right, head down to Polydome Lakes. But first, we have to get past the end of May Lake and get past the Ten Lakes Junction along the Glen Aulin Trail. This trail actually goes from May Lake to Glen Aulin to connect the High Sierra camps. Doesn't take long to get out of breath up here. This trail ought to be a pretty nice trail today. It's not that far. It's about 3.5, I think, to the junction. another 1.5 miles from there to the offshoot to Polydome Lakes. It's warming up already. Well, we've been hiking steadily uphill for the last 15 minutes or so. We thought it was going to be downhill all the way, but it looks like we've got a fabulous view from this spot as we work our way down to the next drainage, which is the Murphy Creek drainage. We're actually hiking, I believe this is west. Not that direction. Got good views though. Awesome. All right, well, we've come down quite a bit of elevation from way above us here. We didn't realize, we knew it was downhill, but we dropped a lot. But then we also had to climb a lot. And right now we're only a 1/4 mile from the trail that goes to turn off to 10 Lakes. And then a 1/4 mile or 1/2 mile past that is the turn off for Glen Aulin and our trail to Murphy Creek. But got a lot of exposure back there in the sun, and all that granite sun was just cooking us. So we're really appreciative of being down here, and not only is it not as rocky, it's got some shade, so we'll take this any day. So we should be at the junction of 10 Lakes Trail here in a few minutes. We're gonna take a good break. I think we need this break. All right, well, it looks like we finally reached the junction here. Looks like this should be the 10 Lakes Trail. Let's see what they say here. This one says May Lake, ICR Camp 3.3. That's where we came from. And then 10 Lakes, this direction. Wow, 10.8 to 10 Lakes. We're not going that way. We're going this direction. Looks like Glen Aulin, 4.6. It's only 3.2 to Tenaya Lake. Yosemite Valley, 14.1. So we're gonna take a nice long break here. We've earned it. Get some snacks. This is like a great spot for a break. It's in the shade. That's where we came from up there. Drop our packs for a bit. This is gonna feel good. All right, well, we made the turn from the 10 Lakes / Glen Aulin Trail. And now we're in broken shade and sun. Working our way down the Murphy Creek Trail. Passed a couple of older gals on a day hike. Guess they must have come up this way. One of them said she was 80. Pretty impressive to be out on a trail up here in Yosemite and be at this elevation at 80. We only got probably a half mile to go to the junction where the non-official use trail splits off and goes left toward Polydome and our Polydome Lakes. So we're looking forward to that. Still early. Looks like we'll be there early afternoon. In the meantime, we're working our way down.
Stupid is that?
Yeah, we were on the lookout for the rock cairns and the logs, and we walked right by this. There's no sign. That's the sign that, in fact, I can see the damn water from here. I can see water from here, I think, or it's a big gray boulder, I can't tell. Anyway, so we missed the trail. We only went down 100 yards maybe. Had to double back, but we're on the right trail now. Well, it was a little more difficult than we thought. We had a lot of uphills and downhills and more uphills and more downhills, and finally we reached the largest of the Polydome lakes. Actually looks like a really nice lake. Looks like there's lots of flat areas to camp on around the edges. Looks like you pretty much go around the whole thing. All right, well, we've reached Polydome Lake. And that must be Polydome right there in front of us. Now we just gotta go find a camp spot. Water looks really nice, actually. Well, this is a view from the far north end of Polydome Lake. Well, we're doing a complete walk around Polydome Lake here. We started our campsite over on the right behind the big rocks. A little breezy out here, about 3:30 in the afternoon. And looks like most of the campsites are on the right side of the lake in the north end. There's really not much around this side. In fact, we only saw one that probably never gets used on the far left back there. There are some rock cairns on the small little islands, so people will probably in better swimming days swim out there and made little rock cairns. We're not too far from the end of our loop hike today. It is pretty out here though. Well, we're at Polydome Lakes, and this is the biggest of the dome lakes. And we've got a nice camp spot. It's got a nice little fire ring. We are allowed to have fires at this elevation. So we're just gonna have a small fire just for ambiance, and I don't know, maybe we'll heat up some hot chocolate or something later, who knows. It's only 5 o'clock. We got a couple hours till dark, but I don't know if we'll nurse this all the way to the end or we'll just burn it for a little while, let it go out, and then fire it up again later. I don't know, we'll see. The temperature's starting to cool off. It's still not too bad, it's 64. We've got our camp established. Jerry's over here. He's got his Marmot Limelight set up over here in the spot behind these trees. And Dave has got his Big Agnes Fly Creek 1, I believe that's what this is. He's got it set up right here. And tonight, for me, I got no sleep last night at all in my tent. So Jerry has an Eno single nest. So I'm going to put my self-inflating, or my Thermarest all-season mattress in the bottom of that, and I'm just going to sleep outside. No tarp, no nothing. And I guarantee you I'm going to get a way better night's sleep in that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the my down jacket over the foot box, keep my feet warm. I also have a little Thermarest sit pad I'll put down the foot of my sleeping bag, keep my toes warm. We should be good. We'll put the bear cans somewhere where the bears can see them and not be able to break into them. And I also have my trail cam. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the trail cam out, and I have enough batteries, I think, to get us through tonight. So we'll set that up. Maybe we'll get some action at the bear can. Last night, early this morning, we saw some deer, and that's about it.
Smartville, I think it is.
Anyway, we're just going to sit around and enjoy the fire, tell some war stories, enjoy our last night here in Yosemite National Park. All right, even though it's not dark, we're still enjoying the fire. I decided to put my titanium canteen cup in the fire. See if I can boil some water right there, and then I'm gonna make some leftover Peak 1 coconut curry chicken. I ate some of it yesterday. I'm gonna eat the other half tonight, I think. We'll see how this does. All right, well, we made it to, where we at? Polydome Lakes from May Lake. It was a little harder hike than we thought. We thought it was gonna be downhill all the way, and there were some pretty serious uphills involved, and a little bit of exposure, a little bit of sun exposure, and we had to do some climbing up and down, and a little harder than we thought. And then, of course, we missed the trail, the side trail coming into Polydome, even though they told us about it. There's no sign, so you just got to watch for some small rock cairns and a couple of sideways placed logs. And we walked right by it. Luckily, we only walked, 100 yards maybe past it before we figured out that it seemed like it'd been a long time since that turn, so we probably were overshooting it. So we doubled back, and right away we found it. Don't know how we missed it, but then when we came from there, that trail, the Murphy Creek Trail up to the Polydome Lake, there were a couple of really good, steep, thankfully short, uphill sections. So that was a little harder than we anticipated. But we got down here, we found us a good campsite. It's got a nice fire ring. We're just going to wait for, I guess, for nightfall, so really enjoy the stars tonight. I want to set up my trail cam tonight. Maybe we get a little bit of bear action or deer, maybe walking through camp. We'll see. But other than that, I got my titanium canteen cup in the fire. It's a first inaugural burn. I'm going to see how it does. If I can get that to a rolling boil, I can throw in the last half of my Peak coconut curry that I had yesterday. This is the other half. I couldn't eat the whole thing, so I only cooked half of it. So we'll have that tonight. What are you eating tonight, Jerry?
Probably lasagna. I haven't looked yet, but I think I put like a Peak lasagna at the bottom of the box.
And that's 2 servings. That's a big one.
Yep.
What's you, Dave?
Beef stroganoff. 2
Mountain
servings.
House?
Mountain House, yeah.
Mountain House. It's not the 3? The 3 servings?
No, I've got to watch that in the future. No 3 servings.
So I'm getting smoked out here. Let me check and see how my billy pot's doing here.
Oh.
It's almost at a boil. But another minute or two, it'll be ready to go. Boil enough water, Dave?
Yeah. Yep, measured it pretty well. So, hopefully...
Did you already do yours, Jerry?
I'm boiling water.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That's what that sound is. Okay,
It
gotcha.
actually smells good now, just that it hasn't even...
Look at the moon right there, right above the top of that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Check that out. The moon is just coming up over the top. Polydome. Now we gotta wait 10 minutes.
Too long.
Yeah, too long when you're hungry.
Yeah.
You think the bear would like those getting in my pack?
Yeah, he likes fruit this time of year, I think. Decided to try something different this time. Decided to boil some water in my titanium canteen cup. over the fire, and I put whatever was left over from my chicken coconut curry in here, let it set for a few minutes, and it's still a little too hot to eat, so it actually worked out pretty good. Very hot. See how hard this is to clean up out of this titanium cup. Shouldn't be too bad, as long as they rinse it out good. Good morning. This is our last day out here in Yosemite. We're at Polydome Lakes, and this is the biggest of the lake. The other ones are more like ponds than lakes. It was a pretty uneventful night. Stars came out pretty early, but then the moon came out and kind of put a damper on our star show last night. It was about a half moon, and when you're up here in the Sierras and there's no exterior light anywhere, just a little bit of half moon made a huge difference, and it just kind of washed out the sky. So I hung around the fire for a bit, and then went to bed. And I decided after the last 2 nights of not getting any sleep in my tent, I decided to sleep in Jerry's hammock. So I put my all-season Thermarest in the bottom of his single nest, which is a little smaller than I'm used to. It kind of made a difference during the night because I had a little trouble keeping that mattress centered in the sleeping bag. Or in the hammock. And I tossed and turned a little bit, but not too bad. I slept way better in the hammock than I do in a tent, so I'll take that. I also put this jacket over the foot box, and that worked out pretty good because it kept my feet warm almost all the night. At one point, I had to get up to pee, and when I got back in, I couldn't get situated just right. And I guess about an hour later, I noticed my feet were starting to get cold, so I looked down, and sure enough, the sleeping mattress had kind of slid out, kind of cockeyed, and my feet were hanging off the edge. So I had to readjust everything. I had to pull the down sleeping, the down jacket, this black down jacket over my feet again. And once I did that, I was fine. So other than that, I slept pretty good. There was no activity at the bear camps. I had a trail cam set up. The last 3 nights, and nothing. I don't think we did. The screen is so small, it's hard to tell. I won't really be able to tell if I got anything decent until I go to a regular computer and download it and look at it and see what it looks like. But it was really quiet here last night. There was nobody here but us, and there's one guy very far end, a solo hiker who's way down at the other end. There were some day hikers who were here yesterday. They were here just for an hour or two and left. So this is a nice little lake. Obviously, the dryness has hurt it. It's a lot shallower than it usually is, and you can tell a lot of things that are normally underwater are now showing, like some of these logs around the edges. But the one thing that was kind of funny, we kept hearing this duck quacking all night. That was kind of funny. So I did zoom in and get a picture of the duck. But anyway, so this morning we're going to take it easy. We're going to have a nice big breakfast and then pack up our stuff. And it's a short hike. It's only about 2.5 miles, I think. It's about a half mile from here to the trail junction where the Polydome Lakes Trail meets the Murphy Creek Trail that comes out of Glen Aulin. And then once we get to that trail, it's only about 2 miles, I think, a little over 2 miles to the Murphy Creek Trailhead, which is right on Tioga Pass Road, right around the corner from the end of Tioga, right around the corner from Tenaya Lake and the Sunrise Lakes Trailhead, which we've been to before. So we're pretty familiar with where it's going to spit out. My Jeep is down there. Jerry's Tahoe was up at the other end at May Lake. trailhead. So when we get down to the bottom, we're going to have to shuttle up to the Main Lake trailhead and pick up Jerry's car. And then we're out of here. So it was a quick adventure. It was fun, a little harder than you think. You know, this is a really short trip as far as distance goes for us. This is the total loop that we did was probably only 12 miles backpacking. And then, we did that, the one day hike that was pretty steep up Mount Hoffman. And we walked around this whole perimeter of this lake yesterday, which was probably at least a mile, I would imagine. That was interesting. That was fun. And then we did several day hikes, right around May Lake, just, going here and going there. Went to the top of this ridge right above the High Sierra camp to watch the sunset. Did that twice. So we added a few more miles. But, yesterday, this was supposed to be a super easy distance hike from May Lake to here. It was a little harder than we thought. A lot of exposure, a lot of sun, a lot of switchbacks, a lot of up and down. And we thought it was downhill all the way. And, of course, it never is. It doesn't look like much on the map. And it always seems a lot easier on the map than when you start doing it. But no problems. We have no injuries. Everybody's fine. I had a really bad toothache right before we started. In fact, I almost canceled. I thought I had an abscess tooth. And I was swishing with salt water and taking Motrin the first couple of days. And it kind of went away. So I'm good right now. So it'll be an easy day. All we got to do is pack up camp and head down the trail and get back to the cars. And then our adventure will be over. And I am definitely looking forward to a great big bacon cheeseburger, maybe a beer, or a tall icy soda with ice in it. That would be awesome. Anyway, thanks for joining us here on this adventure of Anthony's audio journal, the video portion. And I'll catch you next time. Stay tuned. Take care. Bye-bye. All right, well, we're back on the Murphy Creek Trail after packing up from Polydome Lake, and we're on our last 2-mile section back to the cars at Murphy Creek Trailhead, and it should be, for the most part, steady decline all the way back to the car, which will be nice. Trail's paralleling the creek right now, and it's dry, which is kind of a shame, but that's to be expected. But it's only 8:45. We should be back by probably 10. So we have all the rest of the day to go back and get the other vehicle, drive back down Tioga Pass Road, back out through the pass and head down the slope toward that big bacon cheeseburger that's waiting for us in Bishop. All right, well, we made it down Murphy Creek from Polydome Lakes today. It's gonna do it for our adventure here up in Yosemite. And now it's time to celebrate and have a beer, take this damn pack off. Sit in a nice, cozy, padded seat. And go down to Bishop and get us a nice big burger. Well, thanks for watching and following along on our journey up to the May Lake High Sierra Camp, our outstanding day hike up to the summit of Mount Hoffman, and our peaceful and serene overnight at the beautiful Polydome Lakes. Overall, the trip was a resounding success, especially since it was a last-minute change of plans due to the wilderness and campground closures due to the extremely high fire conditions. I did get a few surprises a few days later when we arrived back at home, though. An email from the National Park Service asking for help locating a missing hiker. The email stated, "The search for missing hiker Joel Thompson continues in Yosemite. We are contacting you because of your recent wilderness permit that suggests you may have traveled in an expanded area of interest. We would like some detailed information from you." And it goes on to read, "Please read the entire email and respond with the information we ask for below. Even if you've talked with searchers in the field, or even if you think you weren't in the right area, or even if you canceled your trip entirely." Now, Joel is a 31-year-old male white, approximately 5'10", 185 pounds, with short brown hair and no beard, but he was probably unshaven. He was last seen Monday on September 6th, about 4 p.m., crossing the dam at Hetch Hetchy, en route to the backcountry. His plans were vague, probably to camp and fish in the Lake Eleanor and Frog Creek area, but possibly to visit some creeks and lakes even farther to the north and east, including the Grand Canyon of the Tuolumne River. Joel intended to return to his car on Thursday, September 9th, but may have extended his trip. He could be anywhere in the northern part of the park. Now, I shot off a reply laying out our hiking route, the descriptions of people that we met along the trail, and we wish them luck in locating Joel. As of the posting of this video, he has not been found, and the search continues. Anyway, well, thanks again for watching, and be sure to click the subscribe button to get the latest updates from my hiking channel. Alrighty, take care. Bye-bye.